is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. On today's episode, look what we got behind me. No, not the GT, not the Lambo, not the Lexus RCF. We got something with red interior. Now, if you guys can guess it, you guys already know what it is. It is an E93 BMW M3 black with the fox red interior. We just stole this thing from the auction. I'm not going to say how much yet, but let me show you guys around, and then at the end, I'll let you guys know if it's a good deal. Well, I'll tell you guys the price, and you guys tell me, is it a good deal? Is it a bad deal? Let's see how we did. Alright, so I know the car looks really clean. You guys are looking at this thing and you're like, wow, this thing's clean. What's wrong with this thing? Why was this sent off to a wholesale auction? Let me show you guys why. So, coming down here on the M3, you can't really see it, but there is a gouge that we have right here along this rear arch liner. Now, everything else on this thing looks really good. This side looks good. The wheels are in good shape. Same with that one over there. Coming along the side, the front windshield's not all cracked up. Coming over here, this side's good, the bumper is good, the interior is in really good shape. This is an 09, it's got 103,000 miles, and whoever had it kept it in really good shape because this leather is in really good shape. Same with like the bolster areas and stuff, nothing in there is like cracked or anything. And the same with the bottom seat cushion, especially where you slide in and out of. This right here is kind of seen better days, but we'll go ahead and fix it. It's also missing a button right there. We'll have to take care of that. It's got the power button. If you guys know what that is, you guys know. You got DSC right next to it. The switch is right there for harsher shifts. Man, this DCT transmission on this thing just shifts insane. And we are missing, as you guys can see, a little button. Now you guys may be thinking, come on, man, like seriously, they send stuff like this to an auction? Yes, but wait, there's actually more. Let's get into this thing and I'll show you guys what else is wrong with this. So when you sit in here, this right here is obviously loose or broken. We have to go ahead and see what happens when we start the car. So let's grab the key right here, put the key inside this slot, boom, push to start. Barely wants to start. And this is the issue that we've been having. Every time you try to do it, it won't have enough juice to start it. Now, let's go ahead and put a boost box on the back of this thing and jump this thing, or in the front, I should say. Alrighty, so we hooked up our jumper box. We're obviously gonna get new hood shocks because this hood is not staying up. So we're gonna have to hold this. But right off the back, when I connect this, we're at 11.8 volts, which, it's not bad. But one other thing I'm noticing is, take a look at this. The valve covers on this M3 have been done already. That's a good sign because around this many miles, they start to leak. So that's one thing that's been taken care of. That's probably why there's no leaks. This thing's been fully serviced. It has full service history, but let's go ahead and see if we can start this thing up now. Let's try this again. I'm getting in. Key in the slot position. Come on. Boom. And start. Boom. So it fires right up. What lights do we have? 1, 2, 3. Let's see. We got a low fuel light, a check engine light, an airbag light, tire pressure light, doesn't matter. The brake light, that goes away, and looks like low coolant light. So let's go ahead and hook up a scanner on this thing, low washer fluid, all the little stuff, and see what is actually wrong with this thing. Because it runs good. I don't want to rev it. It's still cold, but this is also another reason why somebody would wholesale this thing off. Let's walk over here and see what the alternator is doing, because what if we have a bad alternator? Let's see, 14.5. The motor's obviously running and the alternator is working, so we're good with that. Let's go ahead and see what our lights are. We got the scanner hooked up on it, and I'll go ahead and let you guys know. Let's scan it. right, so here's the real reason why the dealership would send this to the auction. Right off the bat, we are looking at 12 codes just in the DME. And then we got 7 in the transmission, 1 in the ABS. Jeez Louise, this thing just keeps going and going. I guess the rest of the stuff is good, but I mean, that is crazy. Let's go ahead and read them and see what they are. All right, so a lot of it looks like it's power management, DME, time plausibility, DME, motor electronic voltage terminals. I think this has a lot to do with the low battery voltage. Let's see our transmission codes. There looks like DKG torque request error. I don't know what that is. Transmission data error. I mean, it can be from low battery voltage. I know these European cars and German cars, Italian cars, they're very finicky with low battery. And obviously this thing had a low battery. So let's go ahead and see what's wrong with our transmission. Alrighty, so the transmission, same thing. It's all a bunch of error received from the, DSG or DDE, whatever it is, DSC. Oh man, I don't know. I don't see any low voltage codes on this one, but what I'm gonna do is go ahead and clear everything and see what comes back. Alright, and here's our airbag code. Before I cleared everything, I wanted to see what that is. Advanced Crash Safety Module, Rollover Protection Controller. Not sure what that is. We'll have to look into it, and we'll figure it out. Before I also clear it once again, I wanted to check the DSC, and a lot of these modules are saying battery voltage too low. And this actually be that we actually just have a battery issue here. Let's go ahead and try to charge this battery up overnight. I'm gonna erase the codes first, see exactly what comes back up, and we're gonna put this battery on our charger and see what happens. All right, so we're back here on the computer screen again. We just erased all the codes. We don't have anything that popped up. Our airbag light is on, our fuel light is on, no check engine light anymore. No codes as of right now. Now, the car is running and it's hooked up to a booster pack. I'm gonna turn off this car and try to restart it and see if the check engine light comes on, and then hopefully we can get a code and go ahead and actually see what the code is. Before I do that though, I wanna rescan this thing and see if there's any actual codes that are, here while the car is running. It's got some sort of voltage. It's got 14 volts right there. So right away, we have no faults with nothing at all so far, except for the airbag. And I think the airbag on these convertibles have a little module in the back seat or somewhere. Maybe it's a bad module. I'm not sure. We'll figure that out. But so far, no codes. So we're gonna turn this thing off, turn it back on, and see what it does. All right, so car is off. Let me turn off this radio. And obviously we only have that airbag code. Let's go ahead and restart this thing, see what happens. Wow, that was a hard start already. Like, I could hear that thing struggling. And it's not going off the booster box, but we don't have a check engine light yet. So, who knows? We might have to drive this. Maybe the battery's getting up the voltage. We'll see. Time will tell only. So that little start, that was really hard to start without the booster box being turned on. Doesn't have a check engine light up here, but I rescanned it, and we do have a fault code with the DME and the ABS DSC. Obviously the airbag, but that's the only two modules that came up with the fault code. And take a look, only one fault. Let's scan it and see what it is. Digital motor electronic speed recording present. Not sure what that is. And we have another code, dynamic stability control, battery voltage too low, circuit open. So, I think we have a battery issue here. All right, so I definitely think we have a battery issue here, because if you look on this top right corner, we actually have a little voltmeter, and the car's dinging right now like crazy, but it's at 12 volts. Look what happens when I try to turn over the car. Watch this. It won't even have enough to turn over the car at all. Oh, there we go, 6.5 volts. I think the first thing we gotta do is actually take this battery apart. Maybe that right there is our culprit. It might just be a bad battery. It might just be a battery that's, not holding its power under load. So let's go ahead, take this battery out and we'll just order a brand new battery for this thing. So much easier. All right, so we're gonna have to close this thing down. The first thing, man, this beep is getting really annoying with the key in there, but we're gonna have to close this top up so we can get access to the battery. And looks like we're having enough voltage to do so, just not enough voltage to keep everything running. But I can tell the lights are getting really dim and everything's moving very, very slowly. I think this is our issue, guys. Let's pull this battery out and see like how old this thing is or what kind of shape it's in. And what do you know? Look at that. Someone's been in here already. So this right here looks like you got to pull this way. Oh, there we go. And then that moves. Oh, dang. We got our cover here. We got some manuals in here. What else? Do we have anything else in here? A book. Man, this is cool. I like when all this stuff is there because it goes with the service records. Whoever had this car, it's 100% stock, kept this thing 100% original, and really did a good job taking care of it. Alrighty, so this battery is a J5 code, which when we looked it up, this is 2015 that it's been in here into this car. I mean, it's not that bad to take this out. You know, it's typical. It's not that wet in here, just a little wet on the bottom there. But I've seen it worse where it's full, so that means our seals are good. And this battery right here is since 2015, which is looking really promising because that means maybe a lot of our issues can be solved with the battery. So we got a new battery on order. It's going to be here in the next couple of minutes, probably 30 minutes to an hour. And let's go ahead and work on some of the other stuff like that window switch and some little stuff here and there. Alrighty, so our new battery just came in. Let's throw this battery into here, put all this stuff back together, and see what happens, if we're gonna have any codes or not. Alrighty, distribution box, the battery, everything is all in. Nothing is going anywhere. This is tight. We'll close that lid up right there. Let's go ahead and see if this thing will power on under its own might with no jump starter. Light is on, so that's a good sign. All right, so we're at 11.95 volts right now. I'm gonna go ahead and see if this thing starts and see what this changes to. Let's see. Oh yeah, see, it only went down to 10.5, indicating that we had a bad battery. So this thing started back up on its own. We'll shut it back off. Oh yeah, it starts right up. Now what we're gonna do is go ahead and scan all the codes and see what pops up and clear them, and hopefully some lights go away. All right, so we only have an airbag light on, a TPMS light, which I'm not too concerned about, and a low tire light. Those are not our issues. Our biggest thing is the check engine light is off, and the only fault code we have, once again, is for that airbag. We didn't touch anything that had anything to do with the airbags, but all these codes for the transmission, engine, and all that stuff is all good to go. So what we're gonna do is go ahead and escape out of here and rescan everything, and hopefully nothing comes back up. I'll let you guys know what happens. And just like that, no faults at all. Same little airbag fault that we're having, but that's it. Alrighty, so this is the moment of truth. Last time, the check engine light turned on right when the car turned on, like when we were pressing the button right here. But hopefully this battery is good. Obviously, it's a brand new one. It shouldn't have low voltage codes whatsoever now. If we start this, we should not have a check engine light up on here. Let's see. Moment of truth. Hey, look at that. Airbag light should stay on, and the brake light will go on because there we go. Now it's back on. I had the e-brake on. So we are good. We just got an airbag light on that we got to sort now. And yeah, put some gas in this thing. Let's get this. This is looking good. And just to be sure, this is the 4th time I'm scanning the car. We have no codes whatsoever, except once when it gets on the airbag, we're gonna have one fault code there, but that's it. We are good to go. Our 12 or whatever codes that we had and 7 on the other one, all low voltage codes are all gone. I am super excited that this thing is going perfectly as planned. All it was a $120 battery, and we stole this car. Now, I'm gonna tell you guys what we paid for this thing, and you let me know if it's worth it or not. We still haven't dove into any of the airbag situation. It's an airbag light, probably a module. We'll scan it, we'll figure it out. It's nothing too big. That engine light was the biggest thing because it had so many fault codes with the transmission that if that was bad, you'd be upside down if something serious was up. But we paid $9,000 out the door for this thing. And around our area, these things are going for around $18,000 to $22,000 depending on the condition. Having one with Fox Red and that carbon package, not that wood grain interior, it's a must. Super rare combo. Most M3s that you see on the market have like a gray interior or a black interior or like a really ugly tan interior. Not like a cinnamon tan like we had on the X3 M40i, but on like the tan, the one that gets all nasty looking. This has a Fox Red interior. Super rare combo, first of all. Has carbon, has no iDrive unit, which is also super rare, and it's DCT. It's got the power button. It's got EDC. This thing is a pretty rare combo, and finding one that's all original like this is even harder to find. $9 grand for this thing. I mean, this thing is a steal of a deal. The nicer ones around 500 miles away from us are going for around $22.99, $21.99. To pay $9 grand for this thing, I think we got a steal of a deal. Drop it down in the comments and let me know what you guys think. Now, there is one other issue that we have with this car. It's obviously that we have an airbag light that's still on. And this airbag light, I believe, is located on one of the modules. It's actually in the back rest, seat in the back seats. So we're gonna have to take apart the back seats. They shouldn't be too hard. A lot of people think these cars are actually hard to work on. They're actually easier than actually like a Toyota Corolla if you know what you're doing. So let's go ahead, put this top down, get in the back, pull those seats out, and get to that module. So here is our bag module that actually is located all the way back here, and this job at BMW would be very expensive, even though it only took us maybe, 10 minutes to do this. Super simple. It looks like it's really hard. It really isn't. It's a bunch of Torx bolts, and I mean, the top comes down these convertibles, so it's a lot more space. You could actually be in here, sitting in here. So that's one cool thing. But this literally just mounts right here in the corner, and there's one plug that goes to it. I love European cars with their quick connectors. Always comes out without breaking clips. And every European car that I've worked on, the clips never break. So quality right there. But take a look at this. We're going to get another one of these actually sent out to us, or we can take this apart and send it out to one of our guys, and that way he can go ahead and get to the EEPROM chip inside. There's a chip in here that stores any fault code, and you can't remove the fault codes from this computer with any scanner via OBD2 port. So you have to actually use like CarProg or some sort of wiring schematic that goes into the 6-pin EEPROM chip and pull the memory chip out, recode it, and then put it back together. Alrighty, so since we got that already shipped out, well, the next thing we got to do is take apart the steering wheel. We've already taken apart the cover, which is right over here. This is all the soft touch material that you guys can see. And as you guys know, BMW's got a huge issue on this era of models with their fancy coating they called soft touch. So we soaked it with brake cleaner, it bubbled up, and then you can rub it off and it gives you a nice smooth finish. And we're gonna go ahead and peel off. Also, we'll actually take off that door handle on that side there and we'll repaint it as well. So let's go ahead and take that door panel off. I didn't get this one on camera, but we'll certainly get that one. And this thing was sitting outside and the birds decided to actually do their business. So if you guys are wondering what that is, that's what that is. Like super excited right now, and a lot of you guys that personally know me are gonna be like, dude, why are you so excited? You got the Lambo, you got the RCF, you got the GT out here, you got everything out here, and then you got an M3. Like, the thing is, I had one of these things, a 2012 comp package back in the days, and I know exactly what to do on this car to make this thing sound epic. This 4-liter on this M3 is the nicest sounding BMW engine that they ever came up with. E46 had them, too raspy, doesn't sound good, junk. I mean, I like the car. Exhaust note, not comparable to this. Had an E36, sounded good, had a whole Eisenman exhaust system on it, full entire exhaust, still doesn't sound as good as this. You guys will see. Now the Huracan, high revving V10, sounds amazing. This right here, this beast of an AMG, sounds amazing. This 4-liter V8 is probably the best sounding M3 they've ever came up with, including all the new ones that came up. And I know it's going to offend a lot of these fanboys out there, but I'm just saying it. This sounds better than any F80, G80, even the M4s. I've had them. This sounds good, and you guys are about to find out. Now here is the before exhaust sound. As you guys can see, this is at idle. Doesn't sound that good. Very quiet, especially when you have supercars that are super loud. So let's go ahead and get this thing a couple revs, see how that sounds like. You guys ready for this? Watch this. Here we go. It's all right. It's all right for a stock car, but this thing's about to sound insane. Watch this. We're heading down there right now. You guys saw the before, watch the after. This thing drives really nice. Let's see, let's get on it a little bit, yeah? Oh yeah, it goes. Woo! Not bad, this thing sounds good. But it's gonna sound a whole heck of a lot better once we're done with it. Well guys, that's gonna be a wrap for today's video. That's all the time we have left for this thing, and I'm genuinely actually shocked that the check engine light corrected itself all because of a low voltage issue because of a battery. But I'm not gonna ask for too much because there's normally, maybe a technician could have missed it. I don't know. I don't want to ask for too much. I hope that's it, but with BMWs, Mercedes, you never know why they're dumped at the auction until you put on the lift, look underneath it, start diving deeper in it. We still have the airbag module codes that can still put us upside down if that doesn't get corrected. We could put this car up on the lift and there could be a massive hole or an oil leak or some other reason this thing was traded and dumped at the auction. I'm not gonna get, just hoping that it was just a battery. But well, you guys will find out in the next episode. Also, we have some stuff planned for this thing. I've actually went ahead and actually ordered a bunch of stuff for this thing already. You know what? This is my favorite car. If there's anything wrong with it, we'll fix it because I'm keeping this car for a while. It's one of the best sounding ones, so we went ahead and got the exhaust done. But make sure you guys, are subscribed so you guys can see the next video. If you guys like what you guys saw and like the video, smash that thumbs up button. Also, drop down in the comments what you think we should do to this thing. But until then, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.